Hello, welcome to Papa's Honey Acres. I'm Bill, and we're in the workshop right now, and I'm getting ready to build Hive 4.0. I said I was going to do that, and want to hold through on that promise. And I'm going to take you step by step. I'll share at the end the cost of the different metals and stuff that I use, and what I have to put this together. And so take you along. As you can see, I've already started on the project. Where we start, the first step is I purchased two. They're 1.5" by 7/8 non-slotted unistrip, and so I take two 10-footers and I cut them down to 70 inches each. And on this bottom bar down here, it's cut at 14 inches, and it's a piece of 1.25" by 1 tubular steel. And then I've got some 1.25" tubular steel that I use for the two middle braces here, middle and top. And what you do when you're putting this together is you'll start on one end, and I use these 90-degree magnets, and I'll put them on there, and like I say, I'll start on this end. That end will be open. I'll probably put the bar on this. Actually, I start on this end, the foot side, because it sits on the outside of the rails here. This is 14 inches all the way through here. I'll put the magnets down here. I'll put this bar in here with the clamp holding it together. And then I'll check square on this to make sure that even with these, that we've got a square. And so we just go from corner to corner and corner to corner. Both those measurements should be within 1/16 of an inch, and better yet, be perfectly right on. Then what I can do at that point is I'll tack weld this side together, check measurements again. I'll come down here with this in the vise, and I will tack weld this down here again and tack this in, and measure everything up again. Once you get it and you're confident that you've got everything square, you're 14 inches all the way top to bottom, you can go ahead and finish final weld on that, and at that time you can grind it down or whatever you want to do after final weld on that. Once you get done with that, the second step I have is with the leftover unistrut. I cut two at 25 inches long, or actually what I did, let me measure that up just to be sure. Yeah, these are both 25 inches long on the side rails here. Again, I'll clamp these down on both this end and down here, tack weld this side, and a couple tacks on the inside. I'll go back through and put a little bit more weld on here. One thing you have to be careful on this unistrut is you got to be careful that you don't burn through, because this track is used for the rail system of the carrier for your supers. So we'll get both of these tracks on, welded solid. Then I took another piece of 1.25" by 1 tubular steel and welded it in this place here. Up here, I've got a piece of 5/4 by 3/16. It's 5 inches by 3/16, and it's 12 and a shade over 1/4. And this is going to be where your motor for the lift system mounts to, is this part here. And so you'll weld this in here, and that will be ready to go. Then you'll take your winch motor, and it's got a bracket that you can take and set here and mark out your holes for drilling. This is the winch motor base, and I've already taken and fastened on the two rollers to keep the cable centered in here. And then, so you'll just set that on, and that end is up, and mark out your holes. There's 6 holes here. You'll drill those out. Those are drilled 15/16. And that's what our bolts are that go through there. And you can go over that actually. I think that is over, not 15/16, 5/16. I think that might be over that, I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks like it's more. I think these are drilled out 3/8 on here. Nope, they're drilled out 5/16. At that point, I've got the battery holder started down here, and I'll go over that more as we get to that point. The next step is going to be putting together the carrier system that the Hive bodies will be caught from down here and lifted up off of your hives, or to move a hive. This is all out of 1¼ tubular steel. Measurements on this, I've got 25½ tall. I did miter my corners so there's no open ends up here. You can do that, or you can meet together in between here. So either way you want to do that, but it's 14 1/8 inches wide. So it's wider than our rail system down here. You could go a little wider, but this seems to work just fine. This bottom piece down here is the piece that receives the carrier arms, and it is 15 inches long, and then it just, we butt weld this into that carrier there. On top of the carrier base arm, I've taken 3/8 bolts and nuts, and I'll drill through the carrier here with a 3/8 bit, and then set your bolt up on top of that and put your nut in, and you want to make sure it's going through the steel, so you can feel it down here. Take and clamp that in, and then you can tack weld that all the way around until you've got it good and solid in there. These arms here are 1½ by 3/16 steel here, and they are 3¼ inches long, and the down on this end here, you're going to drill a 1/2 inch hole at 3/4 inch from the end. And so once you do that, you'll need 1/2 inch rod, and the 1/2 inch rod will go through there. And then these are 5/16 by 1 1/8 by 1/2 inch roller bearings. And so once you get those there, you don't weld anything on the outside till you get it set inside your main frame, and make sure that it's carrying it properly. You may have to adjust or whatever. And that way, once you get it on there and it moves up and down freely, you can go ahead and in place weld the ends of those so they don't fall out on you. The carrier, once you get that done, will fit into the base like so. And at that point, we've got that ready to go. You can go ahead and get these tack welded on the ends so they don't pull out on you. And then you've got the arms, and the arms are 1.25 inches, or they're 1.5 inches by 1/4 inch steel. As you can see, I've taken and I've notched out the inside of this down, the depth of the top plate here. And so we've got here, we've got a total length of 14 inches on that. This is 1 inch tubular steel. It's 7.5 inches long. And it's, again, we take our corner square here and get that squared up, weld that in. On these arms, this is 3/8 tubular steel. This is a 3/8 rod, and this is just a piece of the flat bar that I was using for everything else. It's cut at 1.25 inches, and these 3/8 tubular steel is cut at 5 3/4 long. Our 3/8 rod is cut 5 3/4 inches. The 3/8 tubular on the ends, each end is 1 1/4 and 1 1/4. And the way I did these was I laid them flat down on the welding table like this. With the first thing I did is I welded this arm onto here, this catcher of the handles onto the 3/8 rod, laid it flat down on the table, and then I pushed the 2 3/8 tubular steel up to it until it connected good, and tacked them, made sure that everything worked good. Once I was happy with it, I went ahead and finished welding. And then on the back side of the 3/8 rod, I took another piece of 3/8 rod, cut it approximately 1/2 inch, and with this laying flat down on a surface like this, so this arm will be in an open position, I set the 3/8 down against it, tacked it on, and made sure that it's gonna move up and down like it's supposed to. Very important on these arms is that you do a left and a right. I welded up the first one, and I had this carrier facing the same direction as the first one I did. So make sure, if you're gonna do this, to take the time to get your right and left carrier arm. And then these arms will go ahead and do this. And you'll take your, and just, you can snug these down here. Then we'll be ready to catch your boxes once you finish up with the rest of it. I think I'm going to leave the video at this for now. And so if you'd need some assistance on any part of this build, please down in the comments section put your questions or whatever you have on that. I'll be happy to answer them. If you have some ideas that you think might make this a better lift, share those with me as well. I appreciate that. So if you would like this video, if you've enjoyed it, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, and we'll start the next stage of this in a couple of days. Thank you.